when you see us live, and like even when we have band practice, we just love music so fucking much that it's just like we want to do the things that make everyone excited, that make us excited.
Hello and welcome to Where the Living Room Used to Be, a podcast about Rhode Island's music scene.
We're very excited, a little nervous, putting on our first show here, like that we're throwing on.
Headlining.
Yeah. Really, like, Providence bands have been very welcoming to us since we started playing shows, and sort of one show leads to the next. So it's good to finally, have our own show and invite some other bands to play with us and hopefully do some more of these in the future.
Yeah. Looking back at your history, you've had a great string of shows and the slots that you played. You've done the Ghost in the Snow release show, and you've done a bunch of shows with People Eating Plastic, so it's cool to connect with them on this one tomorrow at Dusk. But just kind of quickly, if you just want to, for anyone that's watching that might not know your names and what you play, and then we can kind of go from there.
I'm Vinnie. I sing and play guitar in the band Strip Mall.
I'm Jack. I play the drums in Strip Mall, and we are seeing our bassist Nick at the moment. He is not able to join this stream with us, but Nick he's not far up the road. He plays bass.
Cool. Yeah.
Like pretty local Warwick boys. Like we all pretty much proximity of each other a long time.
We're like 5 minutes one from the other, right down the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So you're all from Warwick, but you didn't connect from the vicinity, though, right? From what I had read, you have played in other bands and linked up that way. Is that how did Strip Mall start?
So me and Jack have been friends for a while, like since high school, like since middle school.
Okay.
And he was always like playing with our friends, and like I was always playing with like another set of our friends, and so we were never like in anything together. And so it wasn't until like a few years ago where he started like playing cajon with me. Like I would just do like an acoustic thing and just playing wherever the hell I could. Like we played at Malachi's a bunch and like just cafes and open mics.
Yeah, that URI at the coffee house.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And so like Jack one day was like, "Hey man, like let's just put the acoustic away and like fuck around with the loop pedal." And I was like, "All right, cool." And when we first made like the first song we ever made was we all plus things. So we just made that, and then from there we just added Nick, who was my roommate at the time, and me and Nick had been in a metal band where I played drums and he was the vocalist, and then we played in Thug Honey with Brian Fielding, who was in Lookers, and so
okay.
It was magic since then.
Yeah, and what was that stuff sounding like? Were you playing these types of songs on with Jack on cajon?
I mean, you could. I was like there was definitely like my classic like triad emo chords and stuff like that, but it was definitely a lot more like
a little more folksy.
Yeah, definitely folky.
And I had done some recording of because you were doing sort of solo stuff when we were in college.
Yeah.
And so we would sort of link up and like do some recording sessions. I'd play drums on some of those songs.
Yeah, me and Jack recently hung out and had a few too many beers, and he showed me all these songs that he has no business still having from like 2012.
Yeah.
Well, those I'm sure will come out in like some box set or something like that down the line or something like that.
That'll be on the B-side.
The early years or something like that. Yeah, I mean, well, that's cool. I mean, I guess you can kind of see the connection that you guys have and the synergy, because I mean, I have to say, like, I am kind of amazed at how much I love your band from like 2 songs that I've heard. I mean, obviously I've seen you guys and you're fantastic live band, obviously, but like just like with what you've put out, I'm just really connected with Reverse the Curse. Is an amazing song, and it's cool to see that that's on the EP as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Can you talk a little bit about recording? Because you did the recording of those 2 songs, right, Jack? And then they went to Park Ridge, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So that's sort of been. I mean, we've been spoiled, honestly, to have Mike be like
absolutely
such a good friend. me and him we have a band called Box Elder.
Yeah.
That is much less active because he's based out of Knoxville now. He used to Berkeley for a couple years in Boston, and we were in a band back when I was in like freshman year of college. We did a little tour together, and that kind of fell apart over the years. And then him and I, we kind of collab on songs from a distance, and we used to meet up. And then over the years, I've picked up a couple tricks from him on recording, and like slowly grown a little bit of a recording arsenal. Very minimal. I just use GarageBand, if I'm being honest, which is sort of pathetic. But I just send him all just like single mic tracks, just like wave files, and I do the best that I can. Sometimes they're pretty good. I feel like sometimes I'm like, you're gonna have to you have to work some. And I have to give him a lot of credit because he is very willing to listen to like any critique and every like. I get very specific about certain sounds that I messed up while recording, and he's able to figure out a way to just make it sound spot on every time. And he does a lot of live recordings and all that down at his place in Knoxville. He might be moving soon, so keep an eye on his website and his Instagram. But
Parkridge Recording.
Yeah. Yeah, but all Strip Mall has been, all the drums were recorded in my parents' basement. The guitars were at
my apartment, and then all the vocals were recorded at my workplace.
Yeah, nice big open room. And then at Nick's like living room table, I went over in the fall last year and just like banged out all of his bass tracks within a night or two.
Okay. So you've, even with the new EP, all of that was just tracked here and then sent down to Knoxville for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how were you doing that? Like, I mean, it wasn't live. Were you using just kind of traditional scratch guitar stuff, or were you playing to like a click for a lot of this stuff? And
I'm trying to think, because they were all a little bit different, honestly. Like some of the songs I literally just like played through with to nothing. Some of them.
Jack's a psychopath with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then
so what you're saying is you're an asshole because you're better than all of us. I didn't even try. You know, like all of those crazy fills. I messed up and it was perfect. You know.
A while to get out, because there was one song, the last song on the EP was like, it was like a mind fuck for me, where I just could not get the last part of it down, and I was just not satisfied for like 3 months, and I was dwelling on that the whole time. And then finally one day I was like, I'm gonna do this. I sat down and just like banged it out, and then from there on out, once I started recording Vinnie and Nick, it just came together within a couple months, honestly, maybe not even. And we sent that to Mike, and he had some good mixes, and then we just critiqued the hell out of it, like every single note and measure. And then finally I was like, because I didn't want it to sound like a home recording or like a local band. I want it to sound like something you could hear on the radio, hear on a CD, or know, where this song came from. It just be something that sounds good to your ears. So I think Mike achieved that. And if you heard, like I said, if you heard the raw recordings of these songs, you would be like,
what the hell? Yeah.
But
again, in the box set, I'm assuming,
Yeah. maybe for like the top tier Patreon people down the road.
No, I mean, I got to preview the EP, and I'm a drum nerd, and the drums sound awesome on this. I definitely did not. I'm actually surprised. I thought that you guys. That was one of my questions. Like, did you guys head down to Knoxville to go and record this in the studio? Because I know you had that connection with them. But no, this sounds super crisp and big, and the drums sound awesome. There's some cool, chunky guitar stuff that comes through that you can't, if you mess up, then it just sounds like a weak, like palm mute thing. But, all of that stuff is hitting. And, it's great. I mean, like, it fits with, like, the... I guess what comes to mind is just you talk a little bit about how the songs come together, like there's a lot of layered guitars. There's a lot of, interesting drum parts. Like, is that, intentional, or does it kind of come from getting into the basement and just jamming and be like, that was cool, let's try to remember that for the next time? Or is there a lot of this needs that chunky palm mute part, twice in the song, and that's it. But it needs to be there because it does add like this very interesting element to me as a listener that I love, and why I love you. It's just like it if that wasn't there, it'd be like another band. But you're like, those little things matter a lot. So I'd love to hear a little bit more of like how the songs come together.
Well, I think Vinnie comes to the table with a lot of the ideas that we start off jamming on. It's a lot of it is riff and sort of some chord structures that he's got, and he hides them from us. And we're always like trying to like we're like, Vinnie, save that. He's like, it's not ready. It's happening out.
My problem is I'll come up with things, and then I'll come up with a chord progression and think of how many awesome ways I can make that chord progression. And so I'll just come up with parts on parts on parts, and I'll bring it to Jack and Nick after they pry it from me. Like, no, dude, this is do it together. And I mean, there have been times where Nick has been like, no, dude, if you just do this little fill, and like he'll just do a quick little lick or something, and then that's like how we piece together Wayne and Gibbous. And some of the newer stuff that we have, it's just like me bringing stuff to them, and they just sew it together.
And there is a lot of like jamming it out, and then just like we'll just come upon a part and really like it, and right there be like, okay, let's record that, play it again, and never forget it. That way we have it.
Save it in a voice memo. Never forget it.
But then there's a lot of times where we're like, okay, we need to like, this song has been very fast and loud. Let's try to add something a little quieter here, add something a little, rhythmic part to break up just some 4/4 stuff. So there's a little bit of thought that goes in, but a lot of it's sort of like one raw idea brought to the table and just sort of fleshed out. And songs changed a lot. Like, we played them one way for a year and a half, and then all of a sudden we started doing something different. So that's why some of these new songs we've been jamming that aren't on this EP, we've been jamming on for a while now, and even some of those have changed a little bit in the last few months, and I'm glad we held off on recording them so that we can like get them in their final form.
And I think you can really tell that from the way the songs are, because we've played them for so long that there are like certain like syncopated things that we do that was absolutely not there when we first wrote these songs.
Yeah, so the band started in 2018, right? It was around then, or
2017?
Yeah, 17, 18. It was literally, I think it was like November 17. Like me and Jack like put up a video of like We All Plus things, and it was just like very slow roll from there.
Yeah,
that was like wanting to loop. Like that was when we were like, okay, we're gonna be a loop band. So loop some stuff, and then we'll jam over that and see how much we can
see what happens.
See how we can like break that up over a loop that's already going. And then we still do a lot of the loops, but we try to like make it more intentional, I think, now.
Yeah, okay. And so how all these songs come together? I mean, from the earlier stuff, like when were these songs written in that span of, 2017, 2018 to now, of the full listing of the songs that are on the EP?
I'd say
some of them newer, or were they kind of old ones that you finally got around to tracking?
They were just kind of like, it was like a ladder of what you said. It was pretty much just like, this is our like set list from the past like 3 years. Like, this is everything we've kind of like accumulated to. And so we just wanted to put it out and be like, this is strip mall. This is our identity. And so like, I feel like every song was kind of like slow rolling from there. And like, it really was just like either us jamming and figuring things out, or just me bringing stuff to the table.
If you've come to one of our shows, you've heard every song on this EP.
Yeah,
like it's like we're like, we gotta get these things recorded and move on to the next project. But at the same time, I'm glad that we waited and got it like to where we want it instead of rushing through to get something out.
Yeah,
and the two songs, We All Have Plus Things and Reverse the Curse, are remixed and remastered for the album. So they sound, I think, a lot different and a lot better on the album compared to the singles that have been up everywhere. Yeah,
so I like that it has a kind of like a fresh new take to it, so that like everyone who's listened to these songs, like you, who like we got you hooked on these songs, like now kind of a different mix for you to get excited about. Hopefully, I would hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's the drums have a different sound to them, and that kind of pulls me in. That's interesting, just because I do think that the track order, now that you say it, is kind of built like a set. I don't know if you're saying that it literally is like when you play your sets, or like this is the order of them, but it feels like that. Like there's a good, with Sundries, it's a good intro. Like it kind of sets the table. It just it has your sound of, and then, you know, right into the second track. I mean, it's super driving. Like the drums are crazy how driving they are on that, and pulls you right in. And I mean, I love that stuff. I mean,
it's definitely how we've played the set. Like for a while, we've always started with Sundries, and like we used to end on Pyramid. Happy. It was honestly Jack who advocated putting it second. He was like, no, we have to grab him quick. Because again, we've played this set for 3-4 years now. So
we've tried like every way we could like do the songs. This one at least works. And if I could like nerd out just on these random things.
At least for me, if you're going to, yes.
At least for you.
I'm down, you know.
So like the EP starts with like a 4 count in on the sticks. And then the last thing you hear on the last song is, like I was saying, I finally got that last song recorded after like 3 months of just being stuck in it, and I threw my sticks across the room, and that all picked up on the album, and you can hear like one stick over here and one in this ear, and so I think the album starts with the sticks counting in, and then it ends with me like throwing them across the room, and like all the guitars like ringing out.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like this like all like you're at our practice type of feel, and then we added all these interludes to make each song like every song connects to the next one without a break in between it, and some of it's just like random sounds that we recorded, and I made a point to have each song do that because I feel like that like makes you want to play the album from start to finish, and it's not distracting where you can't listen to one song on its own, but it makes you it's a short EP, so it makes it. It's kind of like, okay, let's throw this on and just listen to all 7 songs like straight through.
I don't know. I mean, I actually think that it really adds to the professionalism of this. It adds to it's a bigger feel like this. It doesn't seem like just here's a collection of songs, you know. So adding in those little segues, and I mean, this is kind of like reminiscent of like Dikembe's Chicago Bulls kind of.
Oh my God, dude, you know? Stop.
No, I'm serious. Where it's like, this is like a legit thing. It's not like, oh, here's a couple of songs. It's just like, this is something that can, at least to me, you know, that's what it kind of is reminiscent of, you know?
Yeah, Jack was the one who wanted to do that. He's like, we have to make this feel like a whole experience. And I commend him for that. It sounds so cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'm definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Mbe after this now.
Yeah, absolutely. Scotty Spliffin, here we come.
Yeah. We'll connect you. You know, Paul from Tor Johnson is close with those guys. We'll get you guys connected, you know. So, but yeah, is there any like what songs are you like most excited for people to hear on this EP? You know, the ones, the super fans, the mall rats that are coming to every show. Like, what are you, what do you want them to hear? Like during the recording process, you're like, man, people are going to dig this, you know?
Honestly, for me, it was Pyramid Scheme. I fucking love Pyramid Scheme. It gets my heart racing just as much as it does anyone else. I love that Jack fucking goes hard at the end. He shows off, and it's incredible. And Tim Buchanowski, honestly. Everyone loves Tim Buchanowski when we play it. And like, it was a weird but fun experience for me recording. Because I use a loop pedal, I had to play all like 3-4 parts just consistently. So it was like I have to sit there and play these parts when I never play them this long. And that always gets people excited. So I'm just so happy to like give it to people, you know?
Yeah.
Vinny and Nick rip in the first verse in Pyramid Scheme. They're both like shredding together so perfectly, and I love that part a lot. And I would say Julius Caesar is the third song on the album.
Yeah.
That one was sort of one I like didn't, not that I didn't like it. I I wouldn't want to play it if I didn't like it a little bit, but we hadn't added vocals to it, and I feel like it came alive after we recorded it, like beyond what it had ever been played like before. And Vinny came up with some vocals like while we were recording them, and they just like fit perfectly to the song. And we just added, I just think it came out sounding, and we always joke because we added an intro to it, and then after a while we like added another intro to that intro. And so like now we're
nice. Yeah.
Now, I think those two actually like help build up a little bit, and it's just that song came to life the most for me from before recording to after.
Yeah. No, I mean the drums on that one are ridiculous in my view.
Thanks, man.
yeah, just some nice technical playing and you know, the stops. Yeah, I think that's an awesome song. Yeah, so cool. So it's coming out tomorrow. You guys pumped about that?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's just incredible to like actually just like I said, put it out and give it to everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be like everywhere you listen to music. It's going to be up on Apple Music. It'll be on Spotify.
Got a whole box of them right here.
We got a whole box. Our ads tomorrow. $10 for a physical copy.
$10 for physical, free to download on Bandcamp. So
show off the back. Show off the back.
Oh yeah, we got also shout out to
Corey Plant.
Corey Plant for designing the album artwork for us. One of Vinny's coworkers.
Nice.
We put
that's awesome.
These for you. So.
Yeah, we put a sticker and like signed a little note on each one for the Mall Rats.
You got a personal message in each of these.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I love that you guys did a physical release with this, and you know,
that was and stuff. What we were trying to think about that, and like not a lot of people have CD players anymore, so it's sort of tough to think like, is it worth printing CDs? Is anyone going to want to buy them? But I felt like I wouldn't feel like this was a official release,
like a real thing,
unless we like finally printed something and had a physical CD to give. You know, like
exactly,
we just wanted to do it one time at least and see how it works, and if people are still buying CDs. And I have to say, the CD sounds like amazing, quality wise. So I'm glad we did it, and I've had one in my car since we got it in. And
yeah,
way too many times.
And we were talking about with Rob Duguay when we were doing the article for the Beacon, is that like this is our first, like all of ours, like me, Nick, and Jack, like this is our first actual physical CD release. So it's just nice to hold this thing that like we've been working towards for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of us have ever like had a full project ever get completed. You know, we put out songs here or there, but we've never had a full album or EP or anything like with a band. So it's nice to all have that accomplished.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a big congratulations to you. And I agree. I mean, I've been talking about it for a while, that there is something in my head too, as well, of like actually having like a physical thing makes it more real in a sense of like putting the record out. It's not just like, you know, I worked for years, 2 years. I spent a ton of money, a ton of mental energy, and it's like, it's on Spotify. And then, you know, you've probably seen the meme of someone like, oh, I listened to like 10 seconds of it or whatever, you know, like,
hard to get.
Not that that'll happen, but it's just like, I worked so hard, like, and now it's just this like, you know, up in the cloud, but like actually having something physical, or as you guys probably know, I've been doing cassettes with people for a while, like just doing short run stuff that's just like super fun. Like, here, this, you know, there's only so many of these and you can have one, you know, like, so I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be cool to do, you know, vinyl someday or something. If it ever became like somehow profitable or whatever, where we could like afford at least break even on them. But I think that whole industry is sort of backed up right now.
Yeah, everything. Even tapes are actually backed up now. Like you can't even, like with the surge of that stuff, you can't even get tape shells now. So
I ordered an Apple vinyl like last year, and it just came in like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, especially with how backlogged the plants are, but it seems like they're even doing pre-orders really early now. You know, like Top Shelf will be like, hey, we're doing a pre-order now, and you'll get the vinyl spring 2022. It was like, wow, all right, you know,
you really,
but but yeah, it's like, I guess you brought up the mention of the article with Rob, and shout out to him and everything that he does. But I believe it was in that one that you had mentioned that this EP was targeted to be out last fall, right? Or was that, was that COVID related stuff? Was it just more recording, or was it like what?
I think, I mean, when we had that article, I don't think we had even really started recording much beyond those first 2 songs that were already out everywhere.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if anything, I feel like you just had drum takes of songs ready. Like, that was it, if anything.
Yeah.
Like, maybe a song or two.
And then there was literally that one song that just, like, held me up forever. And we just, like, I think we were just, you know, practicing for shows. And it was hard to, like, because I bring my drums places and I have to have the recording setup kind of configured in the basement. I got to kind of, like, do it while it's set up. It was just hard to find, like, a stretch of time where it, like, came together. for one reason or another. And literally I have like record panic syndrome where like I'll play it fine, and then as soon as you hit the record button, I can't play the song at all. So it's just all like mental blocks like that. But during COVID winter and all that, it just sort of like finally came together. And
That's
and
awesome.
then once I got it to Vinny and Nick, they banged their parts out. They were on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had been playing these songs for so long. We're like, oh, okay, we just have to do this, this, and this. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what can people expect tomorrow night at Dusk? I mean, you've got a killer lineup. People Eating Plastic, Mutter, and Bouquet are playing. So
we're play with Bouquet and Mutter. We have never played with them before, and we were the lineup for this bill. We were like, man, we owe so many bands so much, like Delco, Ghost in the Snow, Grizzlies. So it was nice that People Eating Plastic, we played with them so much. It was just nice to like give a little back to them, but then also like, explore it out there, and like I'm excited to hear Mutter and Bouquet. Like it's going to be an awesome bill. I'm so excited.
And shout out to Chance.
Hell yeah.
He helped us get on a bunch of shows, and he is the one that kind of got this show at Dusk.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chance. He is
he's the man.
He's the man behind the Providence music scene. And I think it's going to be an outdoor show, I believe. So it'll be, I think it's in like a little alley street next to Dusk. I was checking it out yesterday, and it looks like a nice little spot. So hopefully it won't be.
Yeah, they've got a great setup out there, and perfect.
Yeah, it should be a nice little variety of music, so it's not all too much of one type of sound or anything.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be playing the whole EP through, probably making a couple stops in between with some new songs, and maybe something else. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, are there going to be? You don't have to say what the surprises are, but are there going to be some surprises?
There'll be a couple stops along the way.
Yeah, all right. This is marketing. There's going to be surprises. You have to come down. Surprises.
Yeah, you could win $1 million this show.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little asterisk to that you probably won't. But yeah, but come anyway.
Yeah.
So, no, this is awesome. I'm truly excited for you guys. Definitely recommend everyone coming down to Dusk tomorrow night to go party with you guys. I mean, I know that's just part of what you do. Just want people to dance and have fun and enjoy the music, and the songs delivered on that. Buy the CD. Just
Please.
Sounds awesome. And I don't know. I mean, is it possible to check out a track? Are you guys able to maybe give us a little tease of what the EP sounds like?
We can try.
Yeah, dude, which maybe want to.
I don't really know how to play it.
Yeah, I mean, you can grab your phone.
Oh, wait a second, a CD player. Shit, we don't.
Don't have to have all these CDs.
What if you spin it on your finger?
Hold on, I can build it.
Yeah.
We absolutely appreciate you doing this with us too, man. Like, we never would have thought that like people would have liked us enough to be like, "Hey, do you just want to like talk about your EP real quick?" It means a lot.
Of course.
Definitely really appreciate it. And I mean, I think I remember when we first met you at the Boat Check show, we were like, "Oh wow, like this guy like likes us. This is really cool."
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely true, and it's cool to see just the support that you guys deserve. It's cool to see the response that people have with your bands, and I'm just glad that you're making music, and you're making music that I enjoy. And again, like what I'm saying, like it's this EP is super solid, and hopefully it'll grow and take you to some new places.
Yeah, exactly.
We can maybe go places, But
yeah, honestly, like, we did something with Hammer Collective a few months ago, and it's actually up on YouTube now. If you look, Hammer Collective, we did a set with Jellyside Down and Mace Windu, and ever since then, like those guys have been like really nice to us, and we've actually got a couple shows lined up for the fall with Hammer Collective and Mace Windu, where it's like we're going to be actually playing in Boston for like the first time ever. So we get like the love and like growing just a little bit, and it means like everything to us.
Yeah.
And we thought, I sort of was under the impression that all these a lot of clubs were going to be kind of not have stuff going on, and I think a lot of people, beat us to the punch, because by the time we started trying to look to set up this show, most places were booked up through the summer, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So again, that's why we're very grateful to have Chance help us out and get us this slot at Dusk. And it looks like hopefully by September, October, things will get on a more regular schedule, and some of the local bands will be able to get their shows starting again. Yeah,
no, it definitely kind of exploded pretty quickly. Like at least in my view, like, hey, shows are starting. It was like a week of crawling, and then it was like everything was packed. And talking to some of my friends that play, they're like, I haven't really played for a year plus, and now they're sort of like session people. Ben Shaw is a fantastic musician that plays saxophone and guitar. But I was talking to him about it. He was just like, I wasn't really doing much, but all of a sudden he's like, I'm recording and sitting in with a bunch of people, and I was like, it just can make your head spin. So.
If you didn't stay with it a little bit through the whole last year, all of 2020, if you didn't like practice a little bit and at least keep it alive, then it'd be tough to kind of like get the momentum built again. So luckily we were able to practice a little bit and work on these recordings to like keep the whole strip mall train alive for the last year.
We played like a quick outdoor show at Buttonwoods back in April, March. And people were so just excited to see live music, and so many people came up to us after like, this is the first time we've seen music in a year, so it was be that people and get like people excited again.
All right, I'm gonna put you over by my speakers, and we'll play Julius Caesar.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. Through. Oh, so good, man.
And there's a little peeper sounds. You'll hear more of those on the album.
Nice. Yeah.
there was a lot of fun. I'm not a singer by any means, but there was a lot of fun. all like the gang vocal-y parts on the album was just like me and Vinny just like yelling as loud as possible, and just like to get like that like really like almost broken voice sound. And, and then again, Mike just cleaning him up and just like layering a million takes where it sounds like, oh, that somehow I hear my voice in there, but it shouldn't sound that nice because my voice.
You hear it on Julius Caesar with We All Plus Things and Wayne and Guttis. He layered it so much that it's like, where am I? But I'm right there.
Yeah. No, that's rad. Thanks for sharing that. And
Absolutely.
I love that you're nodding your head just like any of us, because it's like hard to listen to you and not just like bob to it, like it's infectious what you guys have created. So it's cool.
Definitely see that. Like when you see us live, and like even when we have band practice, we just love music so fucking much that it's just like we want to do the things that make everyone excited, that make us excited. So you can definitely tell. We just can't help it, man.
We want everyone dancing, moving, just like having a good time. Like come to listen to the music, but come to have a good time and just like enjoy a Thursday. Like when do you ever like really do too much on a Thursday and go out? So hopefully tomorrow will be a nice fun excuse for people to have a little bit of a
and it'll be a nice day too. The weather's been so shitty lately, so
yeah
come hang out with the strip.
Well, once again, tomorrow, Thursday, July 15th, check out Strip Mall EP on all your digital platforms. Pick it up on Bandcamp, buy a CD, come down to Dusk for a killer show. And thanks so much for taking some time to talk about this. And I'm a big fan, so I appreciate it.
We really appreciate you reaching out and just wanting to do this with us in general. Are we going to see you tomorrow night? You coming?
Yes.
All right, hell yeah, dude.
All the support, always, man. You've been really good to us.
Even throughout the pandemic, when you asked us to do that,
the benefit.
The benefit.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys for doing the benefit comp.
Absolutely,
dude. Raise a couple $1,000s for.
Oh shit! Really?
That's great.
Yeah, collectively, that one did 1,100-1,200 maybe, and then the Rhode Island Solidarity Fund, that one was like 600-700 or something like that. So
man.
You guys are on.
People like you that keep the local bands kind of alive and keep things happening in the city, because we need a little support and people like you to help us out. So it's great that we really appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate all that you guys are doing, and just keep making awesome music. So
we absolutely will, man.
Let's stop getting set.
That's the thing, though. If you start making shitty music, then I'm not going to want to talk to you. So
that's all right. We'll definitely know if we never. Gosh,
man, James just ghosted us, man. I guess maybe we're not ready. Maybe we need to rethink this part here, because the drums might not sound good enough for James.
I don't think we're happy enough.
Yeah, you got to go crazy on this one, Jack. You got to get James back.
Cool. Well, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I mean, I could nerd out forever, but I don't want to keep you guys forever.
Yeah.
We're just stoked. I don't think any of us are going to sleep tonight. We're just
definitely not. No,
this is a big moment for us all. So we're trying to just enjoy it and then move on to the next project after we have tomorrow night behind us.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Hope everyone that's listening and watching and checking this out will be down at Dusk as well. So
that sounds good,
so
man.
Much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.